Cross on 3, ready? 1, 2, 3. Go! Go.
There's a really good rivalry there, and I think both schools are aware of it. Like I think it does get passed down from I don't know, generation to generation is the right word, but from team to team, and again, those kids, it probably doesn't mean as much to the kids that are playing now. None of them would have played in those games or been here because of COVID and other things. But I think our kids know what this game means. Like we played them last year, and I think our kids were overconfident. We came into that game and we were either tied or down at the break against them last year. And they don't want a repeat performance of that. They know what's at stake, and they also know that we want to keep building momentum.
My 3 years on the team, we still have a history with Goffstown. Because typically when we go there, we don't execute very well, and we kind of struggle. And they're like a solid team. They come out with great intensity and put pressure on us. So like we even, like the team that we have now even has a little bit of history with them, and kind of something to prove, because the last couple of years we've struggled against them. So I think this year we want to go out, just be really solid, play our game, and perform well.
Goffstown's going to be a great game on Friday, and then obviously we have 2 big tests coming the week after that. So we want to be peaking. We want to be playing really well. Practice today, practice tomorrow. We need to be hitting on all cylinders, and if we do that, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll go in there. I was a little worried about Merrimack Valley earlier this week. Right, we're coming off an emotional win on Saturday. We just said, guys, we're not practicing on Sunday. We need to rest up, and we're going to roll the dice and see how things go on Monday against Merrimack Valley. And the kids did. They took it very seriously. They came out. They took care of business. And I think if we do that on Friday, we'll be fine. But I warned them. Goffstown's got some really good players, and we need to account for that. And it's basically the same players they had last year. So if they were able to match up with us last year, they got to be careful this year.
Good job, Mac. All right. Good, Dugan. There it is. Nice shot. Yeah! Nice. Good to see the ball, Parker.
kind of a little slow at the start because they would get the ball and slow it down because they knew they can't just play us straight up and play a running gun with us. So they kind of got out there on their offense, slowed it down a little bit. But then at halftime, LP started winning face-offs, and we kind of settled our offense down, got good looks, and instead of just kind of trying to force a lot of things real quick and let them have more possession, we kind of kept the possession in our hands. And they threw like a little bit of a zone at us too, and we had practiced that in practice all last week. So we kind of knew what we needed to do there, and it was just pretty simple. We just need to play our game.
This year we made sure we knew what happened last year, so we wanted to come out stronger this time. And so we were trying our best with that, and we definitely pulled away in the second half of that game. And we all knew that we weren't going to make the same mistakes as last year. We have grown since then. And yeah, so hopefully leading up to this Timberlane game, it'll be the same way. I know last year we came out a little flat against them. So hopefully we can learn again from that and come out with a W.
That was credit. We were up 8-3 at the half, and we kind of talked at halftime about the game sort of teetering in the balance, right? It could go either way. It could turn into the blowout that it did, or you give up a couple of quick goals and now all of a sudden it's 8-5 and you're in a dogfight, right? And to the guys' credit, we didn't allow that to happen, right? I think there's been maturity, there's been growth. We talked about the fact that, whether they want to play man, whether they want to play zone, right? We're in control of the tempo right now. What they're hoping that you will do is turn the ball over, force things, right? Generate good shots, make Sean Cody make good saves. And, if all of a sudden we get 2 or 3 goals and now it's 11-3, that's a completely different game and a completely different feel. And that's what those guys did, and they did it really well on Friday there. So I was really proud of them for that. They had, people look at that box score and they go 16-3, oh, it was a blowout. It wasn't. We had to grind for it a little bit. We had to work for that nice win. And I think it was good for the kids to experience that, because this stretch coming up with Timberlane and Portsmouth, I would love for that to happen, but I don't see that happening. I think these guys are going to have to grind for 2 victories this week if we get 2 victories.
Yeah, they have great defense. I mean, you mentioned they're one of the best defense. I definitely agree. They have Gary Shivel, who I used to play with a while back, and their goalie Brady Marsden, who I played with this past summer. So they're both used to, in the summer playing these really high caliber players. So I guess we need to get ready to be able to be matched up against people like that who are, when they're playing good, able to shut down offense. But we've been game planning against what we think they're going to do and how well we can play, and we know that we can match up good against them if we play just how we're supposed to. So I think we're pretty matched up well, and we just all have to come into this game knowing that it's not going to be like other games. It's going to be the hardest defense we're going to see. So I think we'll all be ready for that, though.
Some of the teams we played, they won't have like a 2 slide or something like that. So I think guys just picking their head up instead of dodging with their head down and trying to beat like 2-3 guys. I think it's definitely not going to work against them and teams like Portsmouth. So I think guys dodging with their heads up and moving the ball quick and getting it through, kind of working to the backside, kind of just keep it simple. But also we need to try, we're going to have to test the goalie a little bit. We know he's good. He's going to save anything from real outside. So off-ball cutters, stuff like that will work.
I mean, I've learned over the years that, okay, you got to tell the kids the hand of the goalie, right? If he's righty or lefty, because that can make a difference. And there are places that might be easier to shoot, but I find when you start telling kids where to shoot, that's what they start thinking. Good shooters got to shoot. It's very reactionary where you are on the field, the time, place, distance, all those things. I try not to get into kids' heads. I tell them, change the plane, shoot it hard, make sure that your hands are free. If you can't shoot and get your hands free, don't put it on net, because he's too good. He's gonna eat it up, right? Good shooters got to shoot, and they shoot hard. They shoot for corners. Goalies like him are going to make some saves, and we've got to expect that. Until you hit the field against Timberlane tomorrow. I will say I think it's going to be one of the best coach teams that we've played all year long. Ken does a tremendous job of prepping his kids to do all the small things right, to be in the right position, to make plays and things like that. We're hoping to put them in some uncomfortable positions. They're hoping to put us in some uncomfortable positions tomorrow. And, I think the team that ends up making fewer mistakes is, it's kind of cliche, but that will dictate the pace of the game and who might be able to break things open. I've told the guys, this is a team that's probably not going to make a lot of mistakes tomorrow. They're going to be well coached, and we're going to have to execute and beat them at their own game. that last week leading up to it in preparation. This weekend we had a practice on Sunday. We talked about that, and I said, guys, if you're even thinking about Portsmouth right now, you can't, right? We're taking this one game at a time. We need to compartmentalize the week and say we're focused on Timberlane now. We'll focus on Portsmouth when we get there. And I think it's a healthy way to look at it too, because regardless of the outcomes of the two games this week, we know that the teams that we need, we want to aspire to beat come playoff time, and we need to continue to be peaking to get better ourselves. And it's not about winning one or both of these games this week. It's about continuing to play well. And I think we've put a lot of prep. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We put a lot of prep in. We think we're in a good place. But I think there's going to be momentum swings, and there'll be things that the guys have to overcome tomorrow. I'm not worried about them overlooking Portsmouth or overlooking Timberlane to get to Portsmouth. I think they're excited about the challenge, and they're excited about playing a night game at Portsmouth. But they also know that this Timberlane team did beat them last year here at home. We've got something to prove. And they know Timberlane's not going to come in here scared to play them. They've won on this field. They know they can beat us. And again, similar team. They didn't lose a lot from last year. Those guys are going to come in very confident. So we're expecting a really good game tomorrow.
Every face-off guy, they all have different strategies. Like for example, number 10 that they had yesterday, he really liked using a rake. And it's always a different adjustment when you're going up against a pole as well. So you kind of just have to read and analyze that. It comes with like just practice and doing it for a while. But there's definitely ups and downs. You have to protect the ball different ways. But you have to make adjustments, but nothing too crazy. I mean, it's all kind of the same thing. It's just a face-off. It doesn't really matter who's on the other side. You just have to play your best. So.
He was doing a great job. He got challenged. Like, he had to push himself, and he was upset after the game because he's used to, throughout the season, he's been winning face-offs at a clip of over 90%. That's not realistic. Like, that's not going to happen on a week-in and week-out basis. But he got the ones that we needed yesterday, and our wings came through and did a good job. They double pulled the wings. They made it really difficult, but I was impressed with the way he handled the ball and was able to come up with ground balls when we needed it. And like you said, it never allowed them to really go on a run.
It's definitely been one of those things where I think that's one of my third or fourth goals off of just being in that position. Usually once the defense gets the ball, usually want to get out of their stick as quick as they can. And usually their first looks to the goalie, just because he's in the crease. He's usually always protected. So usually in that kind of situation, I'm just going right to the goalie, seeing if I can get lucky. But that's the first time I've had it where they've actually just thrown it to me, and I was like, all right, thank you. I was like, we'll put it in, we'll get another one, we'll do it again. He makes a lot of great saves. We got our scout from Het. He told us, all right, like he's a great goalie, takes smart shots, and in practice we're always working on our shot. We're shooting as best we can, and I guess we came out, we started clicking, and luckily we could get some good shot placement out of it.
I don't think it was as much, shot placement as it was, decision making and like knowing when to shoot. And I think a lot of our shots were in close shots, maybe finishes on the crease, but that came as a product of moving the ball movement, again beating our guy one-on-one and finding that one more pass just to get the easy look inside. So it wasn't as much we were staying corners from the outside, but it was more of we were patient and we were finding the lanes and we were finding openings to shoot from inside.
Just went out and played pretty much near perfect, and did everything they needed to do, and took a lot of stress off the defense. Logan did really well in the face-off at the X. We had good wing play, and then the offense just played really smart. They were making good decisions the whole game.
Really, we're on another level. I know Coach was telling us that this keeper is really good, and we needed to change planes. I think that's what we did a lot. I mean, I think 3 of our guys had behind-the-back shots, around the world, and we were all like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. I think that was one of the best games we've played this season and maybe last season as well. I think it was a very strong game from all of us.
Play more freely. It takes a lot of the stress off, and just lets you get out of your head a little bit more, so you're not totally overanalyzing or overthinking every situation. You're not putting so much pressure on yourself, oh, I have to make this play perfect, or I have to stop this dodge or get a strip. But we also practiced their offense a lot, so we got a lot of looks at what they were going to run, and I think we were pretty comfortable with what they were doing and what they had in mind. So I don't think there was anything that really could have shaken us up if we were in a closer game, but I think having that lead just makes it a lot easier. To us during halftime, just talking about being mentally focused when we come back out, and that those first 2 minutes are really important to not let them get back into the game and get like 2 or 3 in a row. So I think that stop was kind of like the final nail in the coffin in terms of our like the last stretch of the game for us, and winning it and closing it out.
First couple minutes in that third quarter were a little bit scary for us. I think just getting those couple of goals to go ahead 10-3, I think that kind of put us into a nice place and put all the nerves away, just killed all the butterflies.
It was pretty big because I think they were feeling like if we're going to do this, if we're going to make a comeback, it's now's the time, right? The door's been opened, and I knew that was a big. I mean, either way, we were going to have to change momentum somehow, and that was a huge momentum swing. To make that, to have Parker and the defense be able to make that stop, get out in transition, push transition, and get an easy goal, it kind of felt like it broke the spirit a little bit of the other team of Timberlane.
Prepping the whole day, you kind of get into like the right mental state to play a tougher opponent and what you think is going to be a bigger game. And then I was just shocked at the end of it. I was like, I can't believe we just beat Timberlane 17-2. No way would I have predicted that in any way.
I mean, I think it was crazy that we won by that much, but I think we played for it, we earned it. There was ups and downs, obviously, but we all played a really strong game. We came together. There's some really great shots that went in. We played as a team, and we played really well, so I'm really proud of the way we played.
I think we played with a little bit of a chip on our shoulder. Last year, we were up going into the fourth quarter, and they came back and they beat us. And we knew that feeling. We know what it felt like after that game. And I think we understood that we had a job to do. And yeah, if you told me that, I think I would have called you crazy. I thought it was going to be a close game, but then we just came out and we balled out, and that was honestly the best performance I think I've seen all year.
I was shocked from the outcome. I thought it was going to be a close neck and neck game. I know they only lost to Portsmouth by 3, so I was thinking like, okay, it's going to be a tough game, and we're actually going to have to like buckle down and play, which we did. We showed up in the first quarter. I think it was 6-0 going into the second, and we kept our foot on the gas, and that's what we did throughout the whole game. We ended up winning with a 17-2.
I think a lot of it was just, we got clicking on offense. The defense played really well. I think everyone just had, I wouldn't say a standout game, but everyone just played, their best lacrosse. It kind of started from the back. Parker played amazing, some great saves. The defense played amazing, shutting down their best players when they were trying to dodge. LP at the stripe, again, amazing. He's been great all year, and just getting us the ball on offense, allowing us to do what we do. The offense, the attack, the middies, I think everyone was really just clicking. They were shooting well, the ball was moving, and I think just allowing us, to see what we can do and then carry this momentum hopefully, into tomorrow's game against Portsmouth.
I was really proud of them because everything we practiced, we scouted, we planned to do, they went out and executed. I mean, it just couldn't have gone much better than it did. And it was just one of those days where everything we planned to do, they executed, and it went our direction. It's not always going to be like that. They are a very good team. Ken's a very good coach, and they're going to make adjustments. And if we see them again, I can't imagine it's going to be the same thing. But I was proud of the kids. The Timberlane presented some things that we hadn't seen all season for, and if we hadn't prepared for it, then I think it would have made for a very different game. But because we did, the kids were really confident in what they needed to do out in the field, and they went out and executed it. I think because we had practiced some things and gone over things to expect during the game, and then all of a sudden the kids saw those on the field, they're like, hey, we know what to do right now. We're good to go.
Honestly, the best thing for us to do is to forget that yesterday ever happened, and just treat Portsmouth as a totally separate game, not looking at any of their score lines, any of our score lines, because they've beaten us 3 times in the last 3 years, so obviously they're going to be a tough opponent. And I think if we go into it thinking we just blew Timberlane out of the water 17-2, Portsmouth only beat them 10-7, I think that puts us in a really bad mental position against an opponent who we know is good and who can execute and play really well. So we just got to treat it as its own thing and forget most of what has happened before.
I think we saw it yesterday. We also saw it with the Westwood game. Those 2 games are just kind of examples of everyone putting together their best game. And I think if we do that tomorrow, if we come out with confidence, knowing that we can play our best game against the best competition, and hopefully come out with a win, then I think playing with that confidence is gonna give us an extra boost and is gonna give us a good chance to come out with a W.
We talked about it before this game. We need to continue to get better, and I think it's actually a really good thing that we're playing Portsmouth coming up, because it doesn't allow these kids to sit back and feel good about themselves and say, hey, we did a really good job. We beat Timberlane, who was in the top 10 of the coaches poll, and had a great game with Portsmouth. We got to turn around and we got to prove it again. Right, they got to go out and challenge themselves. So again, coming at the perfect time of the season where, they could fall into a trap and plateau a little bit. They've got finals coming up. They've got a lot of homework, other things. They got prom coming up on Friday, which presents all kinds of issues as it is. But so it keeps that challenge going. It keeps the guys hungry, and so I'm not worried about that trap. We're gonna keep getting better. We're gonna throw some new stuff at them. And and the nice part is like I said, we still have some things that we can teach and we want to install as the season goes along.